Yo, what's good with you? Back in black with another enlisted video. If you guys are new to the channel and you love shooting games just like me, make sure you aim for that like button and shoot that subscribe button as well. It'll help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. Today, I wanted to encapsulate a bunch of news that we have been receiving over the past week. Even though we have recently acquired the major update, the merge, they have been info dumping a lot of new articles onto us, showing us some new maps, some new gameplay features and mechanics, and essentially I just wanted to go over all of that and make sure you guys are up to date knowing what's coming in the near future. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into the news, shall we? Just a heads up, I'm not really doing this in any particular order, more so just the information that I have seen over the past week from Monday up until now, which is Saturday, but neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and get into it. First things first, we got a nerf coming to the flamethrower. Unfortunately, they reduced the diameter of the cylindrical damage zone from the flamethrower's burst from 1.6 to 1 with the flamethrowers that have a range of 18 meters, and for the flamethrowers that have a range of 32 meters, they reduced the burst of the flame from 1 to 0.7 meters. So basically you have to be a little closer and you have to be a little more on target. Aside from that, they now made it so that when the soldier fires his flamethrower, he takes a step forward for some odd reason. Not 100% sure what this does, but what I do know is that when you are shooting your flamethrower and you are moving forward at the same time, the burst of the flames will not go as far as, I guess they're accounting for like wind resistance or something like that. Neither here nor there. I guess in real life, when you fire your flamethrower, you're not supposed to necessarily be running forward at the same time. So I guess the change kind of makes sense, but all you really need to know is that they are trying to make flamethrowers not as potent as they were. I would imagine due to this update, people are running multiple flamethrower squads and it's probably getting annoying. I don't know. Neither here nor there. Moving on. Feeding off my last video, we have some improvements coming to the merge generally speaking as far as displaying what BR level you are currently in. We are also going to get the ability to disarm our soldiers that are in the reserve, which will make it easier for us to rearm our squads that we are actually trying to use. And moving on from there, we also have an option coming to sell unnecessary squads. So basically for any long-time players, you probably have a lot of rifleman squads that have a bunch of redundancy in them. Basically we will be able to sell them probably for silver, and other than that, I guess we will be a little bit more profitable. None of these changes are coming yet, but these are all works in progress. Neither here nor there. They are really good changes, so hopefully they keep moving in the right direction as far as this merge is concerned and making it easier for us to manage our squads. This next piece of information is definitely sure to perk up your eyes and ears, but finally we are getting a new battlefield to play on. For the Americans and the Germans, we are going to the Ardennes Forest, aka the Battle of the Bulge, and this is mostly going to be taking place in the Hurricane Forest in the small cities surrounding that area. What they have been saying so far in this article is that most of it is going to be relegated around the beginning of the Battle of the Bulge, so it's not going to look so devastated and war-torn as far as the areas that you are fighting in, which I guess will give them more leeway to make the map look beautiful. Of course, these recreations are 1-to-1, and that being said, the Americans don't really have that many woodsy areas to fight in. Most of it seems to be city fighting in Normandy for the most part, so this is a nice little change of pace. I would have preferred to see something for the Japanese, but should be able to get that in the future. That being said, I'm going to flash some screenshots up on the screen so you can get a little taste of what you will be playing on. I'm sure it will look a lot better when you actually get it in your hands as opposed to these screenshots that I am showing you that are a little bit compressed. But moving on from there, oh, I should also mention for this new Battle of the Bulge map, you will have to be BR 3 to 5 for the Americans and the Germans if you do wish to play on this map, considering the fact that this is more so late war, a late war offensive that we are taking place in here. Another neat mechanic that will soon be implemented into the game is that we are now getting armored personnel carriers, aka half tracks. You will see some iconic figures on the screen that I am about to flash right now, but what is going to be unique about these half tracks is that they will function as mobile rally points for your team, essentially a new class to take part and play as. These vehicles will not only provide convenient transportation for your squad, but like I said, they will also allow them to enter the battle, or I guess your teammates to enter the battle right away from unexpected angles. I do plan on making a video about the best way to utilize this in the future, because this does seem like a really cool addition to the game, and it'll make offense or playing offense a lot easier. Not that you can't use it on defense, but I'm probably going to need a little more hands-on experience before I say anything about how good that'll be on defense. But for anybody who isn't really a fan of building rally points, you can basically get a vehicle with a machine gun on it that will do the same thing. So that's nice and that's cool. I'm sure a lot of you feel that Japan is kind of lacking as far as their overall arsenal, but the developers said they will be addressing that in the near future. So far it looks like we will be getting some new rifles, basically the Type 99 early version, which looks to be a better, I guess, more accurate version of the late version of the Type 99. I mean, I don't know, bow action rifles are bow action rifles at the end of the day, as long as they one hit kill and they shoot fast, or I guess have a faster cocking mechanism. That's cool to me. But what I really wanted to take a note on is this new SMG that Japan will be getting called the Tokyo Arsenal. This is essentially their version of the PPSH, which kind of makes sense because from what I know, Japan did fight Russia a good bit in World War II. I hope we get some campaigns featuring that in the future. Neither here nor there. This gun does look to take the top off and be a good competitor to make them viable to the 50-round Thompsons that the Americans usually always sport. Not only will they be getting better weapons, but of course they will be getting better tanks, and they will be getting those mobile rally points APC carriers as well. But I think for them it's more so just a truck, not so much a half track. As long as it functions the same, that's all that matters to me. But all that being said, I am happy that the arsenal for Japan is being fleshed out thoroughly, and I just hope that we get some more battlefields for them in the future, because this is one of my favorite theaters and campaigns to play in any World War II game, generally speaking. Very underutilized and undersold to the public. What I wanted to note about the Americans is that of course they will be getting some new vehicles as well. The AP-4C is actually a plane that's going to have some HVAR rockets on it, so that's going to be great for the Pacific campaign. And they will be getting the M3 Lee, which is just another version of the Sherman, or I guess a predecessor of the Sherman, I should say. But I'm not really a fan of those tanks that have double cannons on them, so use that if you want to, but I don't really have anything positive to say about it. Something notable for the Russians is that they will actually be getting their hands on the Maxim Tokarev machine gun, which is basically a 100-round belt fed that shoots at a comfortable rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute. So this is going to be great for mowing down those Germans when you are playing defense, or clearing out those rooms when you are on offense in Berlin or Stalingrad accordingly. All that being said, not that Russia really needed high capacity bullet machine guns or submachine guns, any more of them, but I mean anything that's nice to use, I am happy to have it on my arsenal, and I will definitely be unlocking it. Maybe I'll make a review about it as well if it's that good. In other enlisted news, we got a minor art rework coming to the Berlin campaign. This has been implemented on all the maps. Essentially, they have made it easier to capture objectives on offense for the Russians, and they also made it more vehicle friendly for both sides. So whether you are using your T-34s or you're using your King Tiger 2s, then you should have an easier time moving around with less debris on the map. If you are crossing that bridge, which is my favorite change and my favorite point to fight over in the Berlin campaign, they will move the boats a little closer to the bridge as well. So when you do flank or use that to flank, it should be a little easier as well. Of course, that is one of the harder points to capture in the entire game, generally speaking. And last but not least, for the biggest piece of news this week in my personal opinion, we are getting some improvements to the auto equip button, which honestly, now that I think about it, I probably should have put this in the earlier part of my video. But long story short, the same way I was complaining about the fact that we can't easily equip our squad for tier 3 or tier 4 or tier 2 or tier 1 loadouts, we will now get that ability very soon. Essentially, they're going to have a button so where you can if you want to go play tier 3, you can just hit that button and it will take the best tier 3 equipment out of your entire arsenal for that nation and give it to the certain squad that you have equipped right now. Of course, you will have buttons to show you which squad is tier 3 as well, which will make it easier to change your squads around, generally speaking. Overall, that's got to be the biggest change in my personal opinion, and one of the biggest complaints that I had from this merge update, generally speaking. So considering the fact that this will now be fixed in the future, it should be a lot easier for you to control your gameplay experience, whether you want to go up against like I guess M3 half tracks and Storts the whole time, or if you want to go up against T-34s and freaking IS-2s and King Tiger 2s the whole game. If you want to play in BR5, whatever the case may be, you should have a way easier time adjusting your squads to fit accordingly to how you want to play. All that being said, that's pretty much the bulk of the news for the entire week. I will link each of these articles down in the description if you want to check it out yourself personally. I pretty much feel like I covered all the big pieces of the news, so I guess everything else will be pretty minute and minutia, whatever you want to call it. All that being said, I do appreciate you guys for watching the video. I got another 3 minutes of gameplay waiting to play out, so I'll let that roll if you want to watch it. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. Don't forget to aim for that like button, shoot that subscribe button as well. Help you find better teammates and improve your skill-based matchmaking. And yeah, black guy out.